What up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of The Blitz, brought to you by Game Changers. I'm your host, Big C, and you know the co-host, Michael Jones.
What up, brother?
doing?
Happy to be here. Episode 45 of the Blitz. How's everybody doing out there? Please remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you want to hop in, the links are in the chat. I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. I'm ready for some more interesting playoff football. That's what I am. How about yourself?
Interesting playoff football. I'm doing all right. Gonna get some work done on the new Bat Cave.
Yeah.
Studio tomorrow. Should have it done within the week. I ordered some cool ass lights, and they sent me just the lights. Literally just the lights. And no remote, no adapter to plug the lights in. Like, I didn't know that you had to order them separate. Like, why wouldn't they all just come together? Oh my God, hot wire the shit. I had to connect it to a car battery and like Jesus.
Just sticking exposed wires right into the outlet.
But yeah, I'm hopeful to be into the new studio with some new equipment. I got new equipment coming too. Gonna step the game up from the laptop-y to a desktop, a new gamer desktop. I'm not even a gamer like that. I'm not a computer gamer, so this is strictly just for better streaming ability. And then I got 4K camera, so you can see my pretty face better. But yeah, that's what's going on with me right now. Going to see some midget wrestling on Saturday.
Oh.
I just want to jump in the ring and attack them.
Just jump up in there and start throwing them around. Yo, yeah. I'd love to see you get your ass beat by 4 midgets.
I mean, they're probably strong. They're probably strong as shit. But I'm kind of excited. I mean, like, I think it's gonna be cool. My wife's she's scared, kind of.
Scared of little people?
I think she's a little freaked out by little people. But she's the one that wanted to go. So I mean, I don't know. She's like, "Do we got to touch them?" I was like, "No,
it's not a damn petting zoo. Calm down.
Yeah, you got to touch them." Like, what if they get close to me?
Can I get a quarter so I can go over there and feed them?
Like carrot stick, a Slim Jim.
Here, take this.
Don't feed the midgets.
Snack size Snickers and Milky Ways.
Looks like a king size in their hands.
Sorry, we love little people. It's funny, the concept of little people sitting there wrestling.
Yeah, I always wanted to be with a midget.
You should. Oh man, dude.
I think I'd look huge in their hand.
That's about the only time you look huge.
Shut up.
I will.
But anyway. How's everybody out there doing tonight? Let's get some feedback. Stop in, say hello. Give us your thoughts on how you feel
about little people wrestling.
Playoffs are going so far, and little people, if you'd like. We love little people. No discrimination. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you should.
Let's keep it real. Little people talk shit about us.
You know what I mean? You should get an interview. You should get an interview while you're there. Say I got this podcast.
Actually, I've been watching this documentary on this little person. Her name is Natalia Grace, and it's kind of big right now, I guess. And these people that adopted her, the Barnetts, and they treated this little girl so badly. Like, she was a dwarf from Ukraine, and they adopted her, and like, she thought she was the super mom because her son was a genius. Like, he was a legit genius.
Right. And
she thought she was a super mom, wrote a book about it. Like, she thought that she created him and turned him into a genius. No, you didn't. She homeschooled him. But you're not super smart. You know what I mean? What teach him? How did you make him a genius? You know what I mean? But anyway,
But anyway,
she's trying to make this image of herself like she's a super mom, and they go to adopt this dwarf young lady. She's 6 years old, and she has major problems with her feet and stuff, like a lot of little people do. And she needed a lot of surgeries, and she had been to a couple foster homes, and they bring her into her home, and they realize that they don't want to take care of her. So somehow they talk the judge into saying that she's not 6 years old. They try
what?
to say that she's a older woman committing fraud, that she's really 22 years old, and they got the judge to re-age her.
What?
Like they tried to say she had pubic hair at 6 and this and that, and the judge was like, she's like, well, we got her and she hasn't grown in 4 years, blah blah blah. So the judge was like, all right, well, adult female stops growing at 18, so 4 years plus 18 is 22. So you're 22 years old.
Right.
They re-aged this 6-year-old girl to be 22 years old. They go drop her in an apartment by herself. Like they go get in her apartment, they drop her by herself and just leave her. And then son, like she's a little kid and she's like bothering the neighbors and stuff. So they have to get her a different apartment because her lease, that the apartment complex didn't want her back because they had a lot of complaints. So they go get her a second story apartment. Like they cut off the girl's power on her, so all her food goes bad. She's stuck in this apartment, can't get down the steps in a bad neighborhood. Like this girl was 6-7 years old while this is all happening.
That
But
is
she's
insane.
labeled as 22 because a judge. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of stuff. And like this girl's doing the interviews now, and like she's trying to meet with the father, and like he witnessed all this and he partaked in it. But he's like, we had the same devil. Like he's real feminine. He's real
Right.
feminine trying to play victim. You know what I mean? We
Right.
had the same evil. She controlled me. She told me I could never see my kids if I didn't do. Shut up.
Right. Yeah.
And
Shut
like
up.
he bugs out all the time and starts crying and shit. Like I said, you couldn't ask me questions like that. I'm done. I'm out of here. Like, and it's kind of sad. Like this little girl went through all this. Like they the lady beat her and tried to say, you're gonna admit and tell me how old you are. She's like, I'm little.
I'm little. Like
Like,
why? Like
yeah,
why?
like
I just don't understand. Like why even go through the process of adopting if that's what you're gonna? I
because
don't.
she thought it was gonna put her on this pedestal in the community, in the world, because she had wrote a book and she got paid for the book. It got published. And
Right.
sorry, I know this is a sports NFL thing, but uh she got published and she thought it was going to take her to this next level of like starism. You know what I mean? Like she was going
Yeah.
to be a star. Like she compared herself to Oprah,
Wow. Wow.
and then they realized like they couldn't do this and that this girl needed all these surgeries, and they had money, but they didn't have the type of money that was going to be able to pay for 12 surgeries and make them all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he said that they didn't, like she asked him afterwards, she's like, why didn't you just take me back? If you guys didn't want me no more, why didn't you just take me back? And he's like, because she would have been, it was her image. She didn't want to be seen as a failure. Like, where did your new adopted daughter go? What do you mean you didn't want her no more? What do you mean? But regardless, you went and dropped her off at a house anyway, but she was able to use the excuse, well, she's 22.
Yeah. Well, I
She's an
never.
adult. No, she was. I mean, the girl's clearly right now maybe 19, 20 years old now. And this was back in 2010.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Isn't it funny
So
though? People.
it's crazy.
It's just funny that people are always trying to protect their image, but in doing so, they end up ruining it even worse. So, a lot of people get
You're just so thirsty. And now her brilliant son, she ruined his life too. Like she put his face on the cover of the book. The book's about him.
right.
And she got a $600,000 upfront. publishing check. 200,000 was supposed to go with him. He asked her for it. She had already spent it. Like he's seriously brilliant. Like they tried a college in Canada, had to move up there to teach a class at 13. She messed his life up so bad. Now he lives in his dad's basement. Looks like a hippie.
A hippie.
Like you didn't do nothing with your life. You got a bed up against the wall in the basement of your dad's house. Just crazy. Check it out though, Natalia Grace.
Natalia Grace.
Yeah, it's you won't be able to stop watching it. Like Karen had just put it on when I wasn't around, and I was doing stuff, walking back and forth, and I heard certain stuff, and I stopped and watched it for a few minutes here and there, and after that, I had to tell her, "Listen, you can't watch it without me no more." I gotta know what's happening with Natalia.
Those are relationship rules. If there's something you're interested in, you can't watch it without the other person. I mean, that's how it works.
But anyway, sorry about that, folks. Back to your regular schedule.
I don't think we ever got into our regular schedule program.
Well, we got to the intro. That's part of it.
All right. Welcome to the show. We're just getting started here at the Blitz 45.
Yeah, let's start over. Welcome to another episode of the Blitz. I'm your host, Big C. And this is the Blitz, brought to you by Game Changers. And you all know the co-host, Michael Joe.
What's good, man? Happy to be here for episode 45 of the Blitz. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you want to jump in, the link is in the chat. Now we can start.
All right. So anyway, what's going on? Football. Yeah. So we didn't get a chance to go over the Monday night game. Monday night, seeing the Minnesota Vikings taking on the LA Rams. Minnesota was favored in this game, rightfully so. They had 14 wins this year. Right. Minnesota was fantastic. I mean, right up until the last week of the year, they were going for the number one seed and home field advantage throughout these playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were neck and neck with the Vikings. Played some of the best football in the NFL this year. Sam Darnold had MVP-esque numbers. I wouldn't say that he had MVP numbers because they don't match up to like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley's numbers. But before these running quarterbacks, these are numbers that would win you an MVP in prior years.
Yeah.
Minnesota, strong defense. They led by Brian Flores. This Minnesota Vikings team had a lot of potential. And then last week happened. They got absolutely embarrassed by the Detroit Lions. And I feel like Sam Darnold got exposed. I had said it through the course of the year that I could never fully support the Minnesota Vikings because I was just waiting for Sam Darnold to turn back into a pumpkin. I didn't believe this was the real Sam Darnold because we've seen Sam Darnold for years.
Right.
And this didn't match the story. This was not the Sam Darnold the prior years where he was a draft bust.
Mm-hmm.
And he played beyond his means, but I kept waiting. And I gave him his flowers throughout the season. I said, maybe I'm wrong, but I was still skeptical. And then last week happened against Detroit, and he was terrible. He was terrible. But maybe it was a one-off thing. And then Monday night in Arizona against the LA Rams, Sam Darnold was terrible again. He was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He'd take the snap and get sacked. I think he got sacked 9 times.
Nine times. Franchise record for the Rams.
Like you couldn't get rid of the ball. Now, I mean, you don't block for yourself, but you're responsible for seeing blitzes and seeing the pressure coming and getting rid of the ball so you don't have to take those loss of yardages.
Yeah, I've seen at least one or two where he could have got rid of the ball. Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe it's not all his fault, but you have some responsibility to that team to get rid of the ball and make plays. No matter how bad your offensive line's playing, Now, no matter how good that defense is, you got playmakers on your team, and you didn't make enough plays to win the game.
I think it's a coach. I think it's more of a coaching issue. You were exposed by the Detroit Lions. They showed how to beat you. They put the blueprint out there, put pressure, rush them, and that's all they did. That's all they did this week. The same thing as Detroit did. They took the blueprint from that and they did the same thing. And the only difference is Minnesota didn't adjust. They didn't account for that for some reason. I don't know if they just assumed that they were going to go there and somebody wasn't going to use what they just witnessed that prior week against them, but I think it's a coaching thing right there. I really do. I mean, obviously, Darnold didn't play the greatest, but what are you supposed to do, man? That team, it just seemed like they had their number the whole game. It was 24-3 a half. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me because when I was watching the game, it made me feel like I was watching the Detroit Vikings game. So, yeah.
I mean, he was 25 of 40, 245 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. So, I mean, not the worst numbers, but I mean, in the playoffs, you gotta elevate your game. They had a little bit of a running game going. I mean, Aaron Jones was only 13 for 48, 3.7 yards a carry. Cam Akers had 5 carries, 39 yards, 7.8 yards a carry. I mean, they had damn near 100 yards rushing between Sam Darnold and those two. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they didn't have any running game going, which should have opened up the pass for him. Justin Jefferson, very disappointed in his performance. 5 catches, 58 yards, only 11.6 per reception. Hawkinson was the leading receiver for him for 5 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, maybe this isn't about the Vikings, and it's more about how good the Rams are. But you can't say that it's not a disappointment to go 14 and 3 and to be knocked out the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
And we're going to get more in the Sam Darnold a little bit later, but this Minnesota Vikings team, they outperformed where they were supposed to perform this year. I mean, no one's seen them winning 14 games. If you said at the beginning of the season that their rookie quarterback was going to get hurt, go out, Sam Darnold was going to be the starting quarterback, there's no way that you've seen them winning 14 games. You might not even seen them in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So congratulations to them for winning 14 games. But what's it mean when you're out first round?
Yeah, what's it look like? It's got to be so disappointing. But like I said, they had his number. That defense just lit him up, and I just feel like there was no adjustments made. I feel like, yeah, Sam Darnold could have did a little bit better, but at the same time, it's hard to say that when he was constantly under pressure. I mean, it really is. That should have been established from Detroit's beating, and I just feel like that was a big part of the letdown. But the Rams are no joke. I mean, the Rams are obviously showing that they're serious, and Matthew Stafford, man, he's a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, man.
Yeah, and I feel, what's scary about this Rams team winning 27-9 is that if this defense can keep it going, their offense didn't even have their best game. I mean, it's not like they had a crazy good game. I mean, Stafford was only 19 of 27, 209 yards and 2 scores. I mean, that's good numbers, but it's not like wow, Nope. Kerryon Williams, 16 carries, 76 yards, 4.8. He's a stud young back. He didn't obviously have his best game. And then your star receivers, Puka Nacua, 5 catches, 44 yards, very pedestrian. Cooper Kupp, 1 catch, 29 yards. So this is the story. The story is this defense and the Vikings' inability of their offense to answer and protect Sam Darnold, and for Sam Darnold to come through and make some plays.
No.
But I mean, these Rams have been playing lights out since their loss to the Dolphins on primetime football. I mean, Miami came into LA, beat the Rams, and ever since then, these Rams have been on a roll. They've been playing very good football, and they play Philly next. Is that the matchup?
Yep. That's gonna be a good game.
I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that Philly's gonna win that game.
Right.
I mean, Sean McVay, in the NFC, I would say Sean McVay is the best coach left in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's an offensive genius, and this defense is playing so good that these Rams are scary. I wouldn't want to be in Philly shoes right now, and I'm sure Philly's favored.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at what the numbers are on the favor.
On the favor.
How many points they're giving up. But I just think this, what's scary is that this Rams offense has so much more potential to go out there and score 45, 50 points. Like they have the legit potential to do that. I mean, we've seen them do it against Buffalo. They went shot for shot with Buffalo and beat Buffalo. Let's see. So the Eagles are 6.5 point favorites. I would definitely be taking the Rams and the points there. But it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I mean, Philly likes to control the ball. They like to run the ball. So their offense against their defense. I think that the Rams are a better pass rush defense than they are a rushing defense. So we're gonna have to see how this team, how it goes. But I like the Rams' chances. I think the Rams are a sneaky option to pull off the upset this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be worried too. I mean, Philadelphia came in last week. They win, of course, against Green Bay, but they really didn't have to do much. They put up 22 points and then they just kind of coasted. So, I think the Philadelphia still has a lot more in the tank. So either way, this could be a hell of a game. But if that Rams defense shows up like they showed up against Minnesota, I mean, it could be definitely a long day, especially if they find a way to shut down. Excuse me, if they find a way to shut down Saquon.
If they find a way to shut down Saquon, they're in trouble.
Real trouble. And that's what I'm thinking. I mean, that would be my goal if I was them. Not only keeping tabs on Jalen and making sure he doesn't get out of the pocket, but if you can slow down Saquon in any way, shape, or form to a half a performance of what he's used to putting up, I think you're right. The Rams have a hell of a chance to take this game.
See, I think these young Rams defenders, they're built on speed, and I think Jalen's going to have a hard time scrambling out and picking up yards like he usually does because they got such good closing speed that they can close that distance quick, and they can make life really hard. If they can slow down Saquon, I mean, and it's a war between passing offenses. I mean, I think you got to take Matthew Stafford in that battle.
Yeah, because Jalen hasn't really put up crazy numbers like that. So,
I mean, I think I'm taking Stafford's arm over Jalen's arm.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I would agree on that, but I don't really care anymore. I'm not even rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles anymore. I'm all Saquon'd out, So we'll move on.
Oh, cost you a couple dollars, you're off the bandwagon. Okay.
Cost me a couple dollars, and he pisses me off with his unselfishness.
I mean, weather's gonna play an important role too. I mean, I think the colder and the more hostile weather obviously favors the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It's going to be a great battle. That's what you love about the playoff time is that anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Anything. One and done. Anything.
Let's talk a little bit about the Detroit-Washington game. I said it earlier. I said on Monday's episode that I'm very excited to break down this Washington Commanders team in the offseason because this team, I mean, I don't want to say they don't got a shot this weekend. Everybody's got a shot. Everybody's got a fighting chance here in the playoffs. Anything can happen. But I mean, I think most people have Detroit favored. Detroit has been a juggernaut this year. Their offense has been phenomenal. They've been lights out. Aaron Glenn's done an fantastic job with this defense. I think I read somewhere that they had like 17 people on injured reserve from the defense.
Wow,
that's crazy.
That's your whole defense and a half.
Well, I mean, it's not all starters. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got backups that are third
Yeah,
stringers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's got to be tough because some positions you have a backup, some positions you don't. Some positions are running on their backup. That's definitely for what they've done. I mean, he's definitely done a hell of a job.
Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. We're trying to grow here. We're trying to make it to superstardom. Nah, just playing. But it does help the channel. It does help us grow, and we appreciate y'all. We want to hear from y'all. So make sure you jump in if you got a take on something. But anyway, back to you got something to say?
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say say something.
But anyway, these Commanders, I'm super excited for their future. I hadn't got an opportunity to watch too many Commanders games until this past weekend. Like, I really sat down and watched Jane Daniels, and he is gonna be a star. He is gonna be a future MVP, and they are gonna have plenty of cap room. They're gonna have the ability to surround him with so much talent, and the sky's the limit for this young man. He is a spitting image of Lamar Jackson. Absolutely. Now look, Lamar Jackson didn't come into the league putting up the numbers Lamar's putting up now. He wasn't the player that he is now. This young man is just an extremely talented kid, and I see them going all out this offseason, trying to get anybody and everybody, and people are going to want to come play with the kid.
Yeah.
That's another thing. People are going to want to come play with Jane Daniels, and I think that you give him a couple more pieces, this team will be a Super Bowl contender next year. And Philly better watch its back because these boys are coming.
Ooh, battling the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, man. He definitely, like you were saying the other day, he's got that Lamar-esque type play style, and for him to come in his first year, and he went through his highs, everything was golden, then he kind of started falling off a little bit, but man, he's coming back alive, and he looked pretty damn confident in that playoff game last weekend. So, I'm not saying that I think that they'll upset Detroit, but I think there's a good chance they could give them a hell of a run if they can avoid that Detroit defense coming at them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Detroit offense is just going to be a little too much for them to go blow for blow with Detroit. I mean, Detroit they can beat you so many ways. I'm pretty sure David Montgomery comes back this week, which is that two-headed monster in the backfield.
Yep.
That's rough. Just so many offensive weapons, so many different ways to beat you on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to have a rough time, but these Commanders got a bright future, and I'm jealous. I'm jealous of these teams that can go into the draft and come out with this new identity with a shiny star quarterback. Man,
literally first year.
Yeah, so jealous. What'd I get? Tua.
What'd I get? Concussion protocols.
I got stuck with Tua Tagovailoa.
You got stuck with this shit.
351! 351! Rover, sit! Hut!
He seems to have some difficulty letting go of the game.
Every
Stop
time.
talking about my quarterback like that.
Every time. It gets me every time. You talk about Tua now, and I just see that video. Boom. Rover, sit! Hut!
Oh.
Screw your quarterback.
Hey.
I had to deal with 5 years of Daniel Jones. I don't want to hear that shit.
That Baltimore Bills game, it's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be
Is it?
cold, 10 degrees or something like that at kickoff.
No.
I don't know who that favors. I mean, they're both cold weather teams.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it almost favors the Ravens, though. I mean, you got Derrick Henry back there. That he is such a big guy, and when it's cold like that, you don't want to tackle people. You don't want to get hit. You don't want, you know what I mean? And you see 250-pound, 6'2" Mack truck coming down on you, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll
Yeah, I don't know
I'll
if
stay out the way.
I don't know if I want to jump in the way of that.
Yeah, better.
So I mean, I think that favors the Ravens, but we shall see. It's gonna be a hell of a game, man. I'm super excited for that one. Super excited.
Yeah. You see Jackson's interview?
No, I didn't.
They were talking about he was talking about Josh Allen being his rival. He's like, when we're older, we'll probably laugh about it. He said, but right now it's serious. And he said, I ain't laughing. So, I mean, I expect him being like that. I expect Lamar Jackson to come out, and I don't know. I'm a little worried about these Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to lie. Because Lamar
someone was
Jackson
saying earlier
is
that
the answer.
they're acting like Buffalo's favored, and I mean, I just don't see it. For all those Bills fans and people out there saying that, hey, Josh Allen should be the MVP because Josh Allen has less weapons. Well, if Josh Allen's got less weapons, that means Buffalo's in trouble this week, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they're in trouble anyway. To be honest with you, I don't have confidence like that in Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't given anybody reason to be confident. They don't win. And then when they need to, they don't win. Last week was simple. It was a walkthrough. It was a preseason game for them.
Yeah.
And now you got these Baltimore Ravens with Derrick Henry and Jackson coming in there, and I don't know. Jackson's hungry. I'm not saying Josh Allen isn't hungry because he's going to have to hear it if he loses, but I don't know. I get a different feel from Baltimore. I just feel like that whole team is just ready to come in and make a statement. I think they want that Super Bowl.
Yeah, Lamar has a different personality. He's kind of a different cat. Like you said that he said, I ain't smiling. Like Lamar Jackson's not overly cool with and I respect it. He's not overly cool with opposing teams' quarterbacks and this and that. I remember them saying something about him and Pat Mahomes, and about someone said something about them not being overly close. He's like, why am I supposed to be his friend? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, why are you gonna be a friend with the best quarterback in the league?
I don't care to be his friend, or you know what I mean? Like,
you want to be better.
Lamar don't mess with people. Like he don't. A lot of these guys are laughing in each other's face, hee ha ha. You know what I mean? Like Lamar's not about that, and you gotta love that killer instinct in your quarterback. If your quarterback's like that, I mean, maybe you get that from defensive tackles, your linebackers, you know, but your quarterback,
right, right,
and your quarterback's a killer.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
Screw that sportsmanship bullshit right now. When we get older, we'll probably laugh, but right now, he want that MVP too. Yeah, I think that's his MVP rival right now at the same time. So not only are they just rivals in the game, they're rivals with that too. That's a crazy situation. They're both head to head. They're both 2-2. The last time they met in the playoffs, the Bills beat them 17-13 in 2021. So, I mean, I feel like Lamar has a lot to say about this game. I feel like he's going to go out there and have something to prove. So, and plus, I just really think he wants that. He wants that MVP. He wants that championship, and then he wants that championship MVP.
Yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Josh Allen is fantastic. I mean, I would love to have Josh Allen as our quarterback. You know what I mean? He's just the Buffalo Bills are so reliant on just Josh Allen. And if you can figure out a way to stop Josh Allen, who on the Buffalo Bills is going to beat you? Who?
Allen's been carrying him all year. So
If Lamar doesn't have a good game and you slow down Lamar, Derrick Henry can still beat you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'd even say that the Ravens defense, I don't feel confident that Buffalo's defense is going to go out there and beat you. Who's on that defense that overly scares you, or you feel like? I feel like the Ravens defense could go out there and beat you possibly. So, I mean, Baltimore has different ways to beat you. Buffalo only has one way to beat the Ravens, and that's for Josh Allen to go out there and be heroic. Is he capable of doing it? Sure. He's great.
I mean, look at it.
The guy is fantastic.
Just look at it, though. I mean, Zay Flowers was out, their number one receiver, and what does he do? He passes it to Bateman and Hill. Each get a touchdown. So he just litigates it wherever it goes. I don't think it matters who's out there at wide receiver, as long as if they're open, he's going to get it to them. And if they're not open, he's going to run it on you. And if that's not open, he's going to hand it to Henry. Like, it's, how do you stop something like that? And Josh Allen just doesn't. Yeah, Josh Allen is amazing. He does crazy things, puts up crazy numbers, crazy stats, breaks records, and does this and that. But he's not Lamar Jackson. I mean, let's be real. He's a freight train when he gets running, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And he's not MVP. Lamar Jackson is MVP.
Woo! You're going to make them Bills fans mad.
Don't care.
He is my MVP. I don't care what you say. We love you, Josh. JA17 forever.
J17 forever. Forever ever? Or forever ever?
He's not the MVP. My guy is. She showed me her boobies and I like them too.
Did she? Wow.
Yeah.
Man, were they nice?
Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Water sucks. Yeah. All right, let's get on to some of the coaching news. Mike Vrabel named the head coach of the New England Patriots at his introductory news conference thingy jiggy. Mike Vrabel brings that Bill Belichick style, but I don't think he's as much as a dictator, but he brings an iron fist and plan on this New England Patriots identity being playing stout defense and running the ball. And yeah, they got a great young quarterback with tons of potential. I like the move. I think Mike Vrabel's going to do a good job in New England. I wish they would have hired somebody else so they could continue to suck. But I think in a year or two, Mike Vrabel's going to have this team back contending for a playoff spot. So I like the pickup for them.
Yeah.
The New York Football Jets, I'm not sure what they're doing with their lives.
I don't think it matters.
Big mistake not giving Sexy Rexy his job back. When someone has that much passion for your organization and he has such a brilliant mind when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I think you give him. I know he was fired there, but he took your team to 2 AFC championship games.
Right.
There's gotta be something said for that. He did that with Mark Sanchez as your quarterback. You got to give this guy credit, man.
Sit down,
Mark
butt
Sanchez,
fumble.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Mark Sanchez to the championship game twice.
Butt fumble. Yeah.
I just don't know who they're gonna bring in. Aaron Glenn, I guess, is the favorite. Aaron Glenn wants to be there. I think that's a smart move. Glenn did a lot with the Detroit Lions defense this year. I mean, we mentioned how many injuries they had. So Aaron Glenn, a former Jet, I get the logic. You take a piece from the NFL's best team and hope that they can bring a piece of that magic over to you and turn this team around. And I mean, he's probably a player's coach. I don't think he's soft. I don't think there's anybody on Dan Campbell's coaching staff that's soft.
Yeah, but he's not Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's hard.
But I've seen him pretty animated over on the sideline, so he might not have the stature of him, but I think he can get pretty like in your face, like, don't play with me. I ain't one to play with. You know what I mean?
That's what you need, though. That's what you need, and that's what I feel like the Giants' issues is. I just feel like there's a bunch of soft ass people in the Giants organization. If I'm being honest.
Well, you're bringing in before it was bringing in a bunch of young men and trying to turn them into men. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
A bunch of kids, and your job was to turn them into a man and into a better football player. Now you got a bunch of bratty. What's this generation even called?
The generation pain in the ass.
Well, you have Gen X, you have I don't know what the hell I even am. But regardless, you got this new generation of people that are whiny and sensitive, and you got the black lady on my syrup bottle. That's discrimination coming from a white guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. The people that Aunt Jemima was created after like the fact that, you know what I mean? Every African American or colored person, or I don't know even the proper term to use, you know what I mean? But listen, I got black friends, you know what I mean? They like Aunt Jemima. You know what I mean? I like Aunt Jemima. I don't think of it as you know what I mean?
Yo.
The Native Americans, they like that there was a Washington Redskins, a Cleveland Indians, and now this generation that the people that are discriminated against aren't the ones that are feeling some type of way. It's the white lily late. It's the Karens of the world. Sorry, babe.
The Karens of the world.
Sorry, babe.
It is. It's definitely not like it used to be, man. People are definitely why you sit there and standing up for something? Like, if they want to stand up for something, they can stand up for themselves. Like, you don't gotta speak for somebody else and make all these changes. It's crazy.
Yeah, some white lady in the suburbs that's complaining. Let me write a letter. You know what? Like, come on, man. The Native Americans are literally fighting to bring the Washington Redskins name back. Why did you take it from them? Because
I don't know. Why do you look at it as a negative? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, it puts them out there. Like,
because it says red skin.
Yeah. So
do I got red skin? You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
Because you're describing. I got red skin right now. Look at me. I look pink.
Didn't they change the Cleveland Indians to something else too?
Yeah, the Guardians or something.
Guardians, yeah. That's crazy. It's like, what's going on? What's going on?
It drives me nuts. Now, if black people or Native Americans felt some way about it, by all means, you know what I mean? If they felt discriminated by these things, by all means, change it. That's cool. That's cool. They have the right to feel that way. White Karen doesn't have the right to tell, you know what I mean?
Tell everybody how somebody else feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, babe.
Agree.
But anyway.
Off topic yet again, but it's okay.
Yeah. This is about to become a political show.
Yeah, we're gonna have issues.
Nah, just kidding. But anyway, other coaching news. The Bears, Mike McCarthy, possibility. I heard Mike McCarthy connected to the Jets too. So we shall see where he ends up.
The Bears.
Winding up. You think he's gonna end up with the Bears?
I mean, maybe. I don't really know for sure, but I mean, I don't think it would be a bad choice. I mean, I think it would definitely be better for Caleb.
Yeah. Well, the Mike McCarthy connection with the Jets is Mike McCarthy was Aaron Rodgers' coach, Devontae Adams' coach. He's more likely to keep Aaron on next year. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. I think they end up going with Aaron Glenn if they have their choice, though.
Right.
And then the big one is the Dallas Cowboys. They have talked to Robert Saleh, and then he contacted Dion. He contacted Dion. He begging Dion. He just a little.
Just a little.
Dion want just a little smooch. You want me to come coach your team, Jerry? Oh,
You gonna have to do a little something for me and make sure you blow and lick.
Yeah, if Deion turns around. Yeah, I mean, that makes for an interesting conversation. If Deion Sanders becomes the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, what does that mean for Dak Prescott?
Yeah, what does that
Does
mean? Because
does Deion come in and coach Dak Prescott, or does Deion try to make some kind of power move and get Shador the Dallas?
I thought that was pretty much what Dean had been on the record saying, that he won't go anywhere and be a coach unless he's coaching his kids.
I don't know if that's necessarily 100% true. I mean, I think if he had the choice, then yeah, I'm sure he would want to coach Shador. You know what I mean? But
Right.
is it mandatory? I'm not sure. But that would take quite the power play. Now, I've seen people saying, oh, well, you could trade Dak Prescott for the number 1 pick in the draft and he could take Shador. There's no way that someone's giving the number 1 pick for Dak Prescott.
Hell
No way. I don't care how good of a quarterback Dak Prescott is. The fact that he's injury prone, the fact that he's 30-something years old, the fact that
inconsistent.
I can draft this quarterback and pay him this little amount of money, or I can bring in this high-priced, overpaid, injury-prone. I just don't see it. I don't see a world where someone gives up a first-round pick for Dak Prescott, let alone the number 1 pick.
Nope.
Now, is Dak Prescott a good quarterback? Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll make a good bridge quarterback for somebody.
Would I take Dak Prescott next year over the number 1 pick in the draft to be the quarterback of my team? Yeah, I probably would. But I wouldn't trade my future for Dak Prescott.
Right.
You got a quarterback that's you can draft number 1, who's going to play for the next 15 years, or you could take Dak, who's going to play for 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if he doesn't get injured.
And we've probably seen Dak's ceiling.
Yep.
We've seen Dak as good as Dak's going to be.
It's funny. All them Dallas quarterbacks, they can always play good football, get to the playoffs, but they just can't finish it off. Never.
So then the question really becomes, how does Jerry and Deion get Shador to Dallas? You got the 12th pick in the draft. Shador's not falling to 12.
Nope.
Does Shador power play? Does Deion do a power play and say, if you draft my son, he will not play for you? And then what do these other teams do if they do this? Me personally, I'm calling his bluff.
Yeah.
I'm drafting the kid if I want him.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that you're full of shit. You're never going to play a snap in the NFL if I draft you. You're going to give up your whole life dreams, everything you've ever worked for. I don't care that you got money from college. I don't care that you drive around in a Phantom around college campus and a Rolls Royce. I don't care about none of that. Are you going to give up your dreams as an NFL football player just so you can go play with your daddy?
Hell no. I want to play football. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
but you just never know anymore. You just never know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered. I guess we'll see, but I just find it hard to believe. I think the Dallas Cowboys, I just don't see a scenario where they can get, maybe you give up the number 12 pick and Dak. Is that enough to grab the number 1 pick? Do you give up Dak, the number 1 pick, in next year's number 1? I mean, they could possibly get up there,
Yeah.
but you ain't keeping the number 12 pick and getting up there.
Nope.
So, do you package one of your star receiver? Do you put CeeDee Lamb in a number 1 pick? 2 number 1 picks? I think people will be more interested in CeeDee Lamb.
Probably.
I don't think you go with Micah Parsons. I think you want to keep Micah Parsons on that defensive side of the ball, and so we shall see. A lot of questions to be answered. A lot of as the NFL turn as the world turns.
That's it.
This is your guiding light. These are the days of your lives. But anyway, yeah, a lot of questions to be answered. I'm pumped for this weekend's football games. Definitely that Buffalo Baltimore game. And I just can't wait.
No, they should all be good games. They should all be amazing.
Yeah, there's your
Kansas-
outlook.
Kansas
I'm
City.
interested. I can't wait to see all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I really want to, like last week I had a few that I really wanted to see, but this week I pretty much want to see all of them. I want to see if Houston's defense can back up the big day they had last week, and
Yeah, what Houston team shows up? You know what I mean?
yeah, you just never know, man. Could it be the Houston Texans that knock off the defending champions? Like,
Yeah,
that's
there's Dan
great.
Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
What's up, Dan?
There's John
How's-
Elway. He was almost as good as Dan.
How's your whole family?
Hey, we don't talk about Dan on here, baby. We don't talk about Dan.
Who's Dan?
You know who Dan is. Dan the man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back Friday with some picks and hopefully some more information on the coaching jobs available. And next week, I'm going to start breaking down teams, breaking down divisions, and we'll start talking about team needs, possibly salary cap room, and who they could target.
Who?
And we're going to start getting some mock drafts together. So fun times ahead. My Finn Posse people, you're gonna be hitting the head with so much content. You're gonna get sick of seeing me. So get ready. We're also discussing changing the time of the show to sometime in the afternoon, I think. Right, Mike?
Yeah, we were talking about just
what Shannon
possibly it just probably work out better. I feel like we always interfere with the Monday night game. So I just feel like, and plus, I mean, it's later at night. Some people are I want people where they're, they could be at work, just put their headphones in and listen. And I don't know. I think it's something that we should definitely test out. If anybody has feedback on what you think about an earlier show time, please reach out to us. Let us know.
Yeah, give us some feedback in the comment section, letting us know what time of day, what mornings, early afternoon, late afternoon. I mean, we're currently at evenings, and like he said, lots of times we're in combat with people's dinner times, people's bedtimes, people's watching TV time, Monday night football.
Yep.
Thursday night football. So let us know. It's a discussion
we're still talking about.
We'll probably discuss it more tomorrow and probably have a more definitive answer. But yeah. Any final words, Mikey?
Once again, thank you for kicking it with us on the Blitz episode 45. We love you. Please remember, you come in, hit that like button, slap that bitch, give it a name. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just make sure you click. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Like I said, hey, you're always welcome to join us. The link will always be in the chat for you if you ever want to jump in and give your opinion. And this should be probably the best week of playoff football. And I'm pumped. I'm really pumped. And I'm really looking forward to see Buffalo get their asses kicked. So,
You probably jinxed them.
I don't care, Josh Allen. I'm gonna start calling him Josh Anna.
Oh, All right, folks. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember, a New Fan Posse podcast coming very shortly. Going to hit you in the head with so much content, so much good info for your love of your Miami Dolphins. Also got a plan for a lot of new guests. So we're gonna just be moving up and moving on and doing big things. So make sure you join us for this ride. Make sure you can say you're one of the people that were there from the beginning.
Yep.
Make sure you say that you can say that you are the number one fan from the beginning. You've been rocking out since the beginning. So when we get bigger, you got a special place in our spot. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Yeah.
we'll see you Friday. Get ready for those game picks and get ready for this weekend's divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Until next time, folks, you know what it is. Fins all the way up.
You got knocked up.
And
Yeah.
we'll see you later.
Go Giants.
Peace.